Well, here we are. Ho, ho, ho. We're nearly there, aren't we? The big man's about to come down the chimney. Wear your pretty stockings. As Elvis says in a very famous Christmas song. And we'll be talking Christmas songs in a few minutes. Too much coffee again. Hello everyone. Thank you very, very much for joining me tonight. I know it's not easy for you to sit down and watch a live stream this time of the year with just, what is it now, 24 hours maybe till Christmas hits, I suppose. So if you are joining me live, it is very, very, very much appreciated. And if you aren't joining me live, I understand that as well. So that's one of the reasons why I dragged the show 24 hours sooner, because Christmas Eve just wouldn't be a good time for doing a live show. I don't believe anyway. So that's why I've dragged it forwards. So welcome. I've got a few things to go through and say that we will be doing obviously the Elvis Underrated Song live poll, and the live poll meshes in with the topic. I've got a song I wish Elvis had recorded, Photoshop of the week, Caption this photo, smoking hot photo. I only have to say that and they start. Yeah. I'm going to have to start calling it something else, because every time I say smoking hot, see what I mean? I just go smo, and they start. I go smo. Ladies. Later. This day in Elvis history. The topic. We did winner of Fan of the Month for November last week, and it was Dylan. Congratulations, Dylan. I'd like to say a big thank you for all the kind messages and emails and show of support for this channel. Unfortunately, we do start on a little bit of a sad note. All of you will know by now, and you'll have seen in the press and social media and so forth, that one of Elvis's first girlfriends, Dixie Locke, well, she was known as Dixie Locke then. She was now, after her marriage, Dixie Locke Emmons, I believe, passed away during the week peacefully, surrounded by her family. And there's a lovely shot of Elvis and Dixie together, and there was Dixie in newer times Graceland Guest House. So would that have been his prom? Does anybody know? Would that have been his prom night photograph? I think it may well have been. Mrs. EAP says, R.I.P. dear Dixie, reunited with Elvis. Yes. And of course, a lot of people saying rest in peace. I did actually try to get Dixie on the show when her Unlocked book came out. It was her biography, and of course it included a lot of her relationship with Elvis, but unfortunately she wouldn't. But her daughter said she would come on the show, but I said, with great respect, I think that the fans would like to hear from Dixie, so we didn't take it any further than that. So I did try and get Dixie on the show, but alas, it didn't transpire. So yet another person from the Elvis world has left us, and as somebody says, reunited with Elvis. So rest in peace and condolences to all her family. Right, you can get yourself in the queue in Discord now. If you want to call the show, please do. I see there's a couple of people already in there. Thanks, guys. And we will be discussing the topic, which is the best-selling Christmas LP of all time, which, of course, is Elvis's Christmas album from 1957. Well, that's when it was first released It's been released multiple times since then with different covers and so forth. So, yeah, we will be discussing that. And I want to know which you think is the best track off that album. So we'll be discussing that after the quiz and so forth. But before that, we've got Fan of the Month quiz, and it's backwards Elvis Christmas songs. Of course, I have to keep up the Christmas theme, and I couldn't resist doing this. This had to be the backdrop this week. Elvis's beloved Graceland, I'm sure, as he loved to see it when he was alive. And of course, I always think of Gladys when I see that sort of picture there and all lit up for the Christmas period, because poor Gladys only had one Christmas at Graceland. We know that Elvis bought Graceland for Vernon and Gladys primarily. He said it was all being done for his mother and father, and then to suffer the monumental blow of her passing away only, just over a year after buying Graceland. He bought it in March 57 and she passed away in August 1958. So, yeah, I always think of that when I see Graceland lit up by that. Very sad. But of course, he spent some happy times at Graceland, as we know as well. So it wasn't all doom and gloom. Now, here we go. I'm getting off the track a little bit here now. We've got, we've got this. Backwards Elvis Christmas songs. So stand by your beds. I hope this is a pen that works this week, because last week my pen ran out. Stand by your beds, as they say, and we will... only one Christmas at Graceland, 1957. Yes, that's correct. Gladys only had one Christmas at Graceland, 1957. Right, here we go. The first backwards Elvis song. Who's going to be the first person to get this? Is this one. Okay. Does anybody... You been tripping? Hi, you be tripping. Haven't seen you for a while. Silver Bells. Here comes Santa Claus. By the way, thanks to Dave for stepping in and modding for me. I don't know how you got that. I think you might have got that from the end part, which is the first part. And I believe that the first person, Dave is going to tell me now, hopefully, Here Comes Santa Claus. That's what that was. Okay, in fact, if you want, I will actually play it again, as it's the first one. It should play for me again. Let's start. Okay, so who was the first person to get that correct and gets the jingle? Let's have a look. I'm intrigued to find out who it was. It looks like it was Jonathan Ortega. Here Comes Santa Claus, followed very, very closely by Duncan Campbell. And Dave says Dylan. Maybe, did I miss Dylan here? I did. Yes, right after You Been Trippin', or You Be Trippin', Dylan Bowen got Here Comes Santa Claus. I do beg your pardon. Sorry, Jonathan, for giving you false hope there. So, Dylan, you get this.
It's been a long time, Jack, I'm telling you.
It's been a long time. Is Jack in the building? Dave says Dylan was first. Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Dave. I haven't seen Jack yet, but I don't know whether he's in the building or not. But anyway, it's been a long time. So Dylan has started off to a flyer again tonight. I hope he doesn't get two fan months in a row. Although if he does, he does. Right, here we go. Jack is working. Oh, is he? Okay. Jack will probably watch it on catch up. And I say, hi, Jack. Merry Christmas. Right, here we go. This is number 2. What's this one? Backwards Elvis. Very, very noticeable end to that, or start to it. I see Dave saying Hugh got it right. Timothy says Santa Claus is back in town. Dylan says Santa Claus is back in town. Yeah. All those people. Hi, Ruth. Yeah, Ruth says it. And basically, that's what it is. It's Santa Claus is back in town. Yes. Off that album that we're going to be discussing in a few minutes. So Hugh, let's have a look. Okay. Hugh McKenna, I believe Santa Claus is back in town. Okay, so you get this.
It's been a long time, Jack, I'm telling you.
Okay. Oh, you're not going to believe this, but this pen is running out as well. I'm going to have to get a whole new load of pens. What I do is when it runs out, I throw it back on there, and I forget which ones have run out then. So that was number 2. Santa Claus is back in town. This one might trip you up. This is number 3 of Backwards Elvis Christmas songs. That even sounded good backwards, didn't it? The way they were, the choir was singing there. On a snowy Christmas night, says Jimmy D. Little town of Bethlehem, Silent Night. Duncan, Silent Night. Elvis Nation, hi Brent. Okay, well, it's I'll Be Home for Christmas, and a lot of you actually got it right, but it looks like Jonathan Ortega. Dave tells me it was Jonathan Ortega. Got that right, which is I'll Be Home for Christmas. Christmas. Congratulations, Jonathan. You get this.
For a long time, Jack, I'm telling you.
And I will probably be changing that jingle next week. And speaking of next week, it'll be Saturday. It won't be Sunday. Because Sunday is New Year's Eve. And of course, a lot of people are celebrating and so forth. So I've moved it again to Saturday. Right. Now, number 4. I'd like to see who gets this one. Okay. I see Peace in the Valley, Holly Leaves, Silver Bells, The First Noel, Silent Night, I'll Be Home on Christmas Day, If It Won't Do You Like Christmas Without You. Okay, yeah. It's No Secret, Holly Leaves. Yeah, I believe you are right there, Dave, because basically what that is I'll Be Home on Christmas Day from 1971. Gigi Moore is I'll Be Home on Christmas Day as well. But according to Dave, it was Duncan. Ruth, If Every Day Was Like Christmas, no. Okay, so Duncan. Well done, Duncan.
It's been a long time, Jack, I'm telling you.
We're only going to hear that 2 more times because, as I say, I will probably change that for next Saturday's show. So, well done, Duncan. Yes, I'll Be Home on Christmas Day. Now, again, number 5. Right. Oh. I nearly played the next one. Yes, I just want to go back a little bit there because I saw a lovely comment from somebody called F. De Silva, and it says, "Love your channel, great work. You are truly an ultimate Elvis fan. Best of the holidays from Warsaw, Poland." Thank you very, very much. I don't think I've seen your name before, so welcome to the channel. If I have, then I'm sorry, but I don't recall seeing your name. So hello to Poland. Hello there. And thanks for the kind comments about your channel. Right. Somebody said crying in the chapel, but no, it can't be that because crying in the chapel isn't really... Oh, Shannon says, Steve, it was her prom. Great. Thanks very much. Those were the photographs we were showing of Dixie earlier on. It was, believe it or not, if every day was like Christmas. And of course, because I was going back and back and back, I didn't look to see who that was, the first person that got it. Although I can see now, because Dave's told me, it was Hugh McKenna again. Well done, Hugh.
It's been a long time, Jack, I'm telling you.
Okay, so we're going to put Hugh down again. And yeah, thank you very, very much again, F. De Silva, for that. Those kind comments about the... yes, Dave says very, very kind comments. Thank you very, very much. We just love to see... comments like that, simply because it's not because it feeds my ego or anything like that. It's because I love to see, because then I know that we're doing the right thing by Elvis and the channel and so forth. So that's really why I like to see those. But then again, if you do want to sort of tell me anything that I'm doing wrong, please do as well, because if I don't know, then I can't put it right. So if you want to send in your criticism, you can do that as well. Right. The sixth and final question on backwards Elvis Christmas songs, and probably the last time you'll hear that, been a long time, Jack, jingle for a while. Here we go. Do you know, I don't think anybody will get that. Oh. As soon as I said that, somebody got it. Although Margaret says she's stumped. A lot of people are saying Silver Bells. Santa Lucia, well, Santa Lucia isn't a Christmas song. And these are all Christmas songs. So, yeah. So, yeah, Duncan Campbell got it right as well. But the first person to get it right, way to go, is Norset45 with The Wonderful World of Christmas. Tom Estes got it right. Tim Estes got it right as well. So anyway, Norset.
It's been a long time, Jack, I'm telling you.
Wonderful, wonderful work. I really thought that that one would get you. I stuck that one in at the end, thinking that I might stump you with it. And then people went and got it right. So well done. Congratulations to the people that were first. Congratulations to everybody that got it right as well. And thanks to everybody that took part in the quiz as well. It's all a bit of fun, but there is a prize at the end of the month. So here we are, the topic. And the topic is... Elvis still has the best-selling Christmas album of all time. Alrighty? And that is this one. Okay? And it was during the week of December the 16th, 1957, Elvis topped the Billboard 200 chart with his first holiday album, Elvis Christmas Album. And it remained at the top of the chart for 4 weeks beginning December the 16th, 1957. At the time of its release, as I said, October 15th, 1957, Elvis was mostly known for his rock and roll, but the Christmas album highlighted more of his musically under the surface. Musicality, sorry, I beg your pardon, under the surface. From traditional holiday renditions of O Little Town of Bethlehem and Silent Night, and one of the two originals written for him by Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller, Santa Claus is Back in Town. Elvis also shared his gospel roots with songs like Take My Hand, Precious Lord, and It Is No Secret What God Can Do. His rendition of White Christmas, made famous by Bing Crosby a few years earlier, picked up attention from its writer, Irving Berlin. After hearing Elvis's version of his song, which Berlin saw as a profane parody of his cherished Yuletide standard, he ordered his staff in New York to telephone radio stations across the United States, demanding the song be discontinued from radio play. Imagine that. While most US radio stations ignored Berlin's request, at least one disc jockey was fired for playing a song from the album, and most Canadian stations refused to play the album. Okay. In the middle of it all was one of Elvis's most iconic releases, Blue Christmas, written by Billy Hayes and J.W. Johnson. Blue Christmas was first recorded by Doyle Odell, I beg your pardon, there's no L in it, Odell, in 1948, but it was Elvis's version that made it famous. Blue Christmas went to number 1 on the Billboard Christmas Singles Chart, as it only right that it should. Recording the album at Radio Recorders in Hollywood, California from September 5th through to the 7th, Elvis was backed by guitarist Scotty Moore, bassist Bill Black, drummer DJ Fontana, Dudley Brooks on piano, along with his regular backing vocalists, the Jordanaires, and the lady with the beautiful soprano voice, Millie Kirkham. Elvis's Christmas album has sold more than 20 million copies worldwide and was also his first diamond-selling record. It became the first Christmas album to spend 4 consecutive weeks at the top of the Billboard 200 and continues to sell nearly 7 decades later. It remains the world's best-selling Christmas album and one of the best-selling albums of all time. What do you think of that? Now, that's the original cover. It has sort of been re-released many times with different covers. This one as well being quite well known. That's a shot obviously from Speedway, but they've dropped the back into it behind it. And then that one as well. I think I've got that one as well. Elvis Christmas album Camden. They actually changed the track list for the re-releases. They put on there Mama Like the Roses and If Every Day Was Like Christmas and so forth, just to change it up a little bit. But essentially it was the same album. So, yes, I'm going to ask you, and people love these polls because they say, Steve, how are you supposed to answer these questions? It's like saying, who is your favorite child? Now, I can only do 4. The poll only allows me to do 4. So, I mean, apart from Santa Claus is Back in Town, White Christmas, I'll Be Home for Christmas, and Blue Christmas. There was also Santa Bring My Baby Back to Me, Oh Little Town of Bethlehem, Silent Night, There'll Be Peace in the Valley, I Believe, Take My Hand, Precious Lord, and Is It No Secret What God Can Do. Those were the other songs on the album, but as I say, I can only give you a poll which allows me 4. And the 4 I've picked are, well, the question is, which is the best song on Elvis's 1957 Christmas album? White Christmas, I'll Be Home for Christmas, Blue Christmas, or Santa Claus is Back in Town. And I'm going to put that up there now for you. And you will see that if you're watching live. If you're not watching live, then you will hear me give the result at the end of the show. Now, I want to throw this open to the callers on Discord, simply because I want to hear what your thoughts are on the best-selling Christmas album of all time. And I have to put myself into the call, and then I have to say, what do I have to say? Hi, Brent.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing really, really well. I didn't think I was going to hear you then for a second.
Well, that's usually a good thing for a lot of people to
No,
have
definitely
you silent, but
not when you're running a live show. It's not.
I know, but dead air is never a great thing on a live one. That is true.
And tell me this:
how are you
were
doing?
you? I'm doing really, really well. But I just want to know: were you just playing with me there? It's not talking to me.
No. I'm actually a lot more witty in my pranksterism. This is not my way I would demonstrate my sense of humor. That would be a very no. What happened was I forgot that I was muted, and then all of a sudden I'm rushing back, and then I clicked on the wrong microphone instead of the one at the bottom. I hit on the one in the call in. Nothing.
Now, I know you're a big fan of the Silent movie era, as I am, and I thought you were maybe it was a homage to the Silent era. You were doing
yes. That was my Harold Lloyd appreciates Elvis bit, and.
Okay, so the subject. What do you think? The best-selling Christmas album of all time?
Well, Steve, this is I really look at it in two contextual aspects. First one, of course, Blue Christmas is the single that everyone around the world is going to resonate with the most, no doubt about it. There's just no. But I think in an album context, Santa Claus is Back in Town sets this tone, being the first track from the beginning harmonies and then into this kind of rough, kind of crass, but yet beautiful kind of intro. It really kind of shows at the time it came out that this is a whole new kind of Christmas song that's coming out. Nobody did anything like that. So yes, Blue Christmas in the radio context and in the single context, but as an album, there is no better way to start off an album than with that song.
And this was one that they had to write at short notice because they realized they were short, and they went away into another control room and wrote it in an hour or so, I believe.
Yeah, which is sometimes that's the best way it works. I don't know how, but there's something about the, even when sometimes when you're producing content, the best result you ever get is when a bullet's, you have a bullet pressed, coming your way, and and you have to kind of be resourceful really quick, and what we just got from that is just totally iconic, legendary. It is not going anywhere anytime. It will outlive all of us. It will. Yeah. It will just definitely. It is a gem for future generations, and but it's a very thought-provoking poll that you have there, because I think some people are just going to look at their favorite song, and I can't always just do that, Steve. I have to sometimes look at multi-context and see it that way. So that's where I weigh in the song versus what's the best in relation to the album.
Now, we also know that, is it true, do you believe, that Elvis didn't really want Blue Christmas released, so he asked Millie to do a funny vocal, so they'd say, no, we can't release that?
It's true, but you know what? I think, and I said this to Leon a few weeks ago, we really need to get an ElvisSnopes.com site. For those of you who don't know what Snopes is, it is a site that lends truth to any kind of theory that's out there, and it backs it up with evidence. So if because with Elvis, the hearsay versus the ironclad evidence, there's a lot of murky water in between there.
Yeah, I agree. Imagine an album without Blue Christmas on it, though. I would have missed it.
No, well, first of all, I think doing that is like saying I am going to design a human body without a heart.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a Frankenstein's monster, just kind of, as great as the other tracks are. Blue Christmas is that mercurial X Factor kind of thing that just gives it its lifeblood and resonates, because I think that's what most people resonate with off of that album. And no matter how great we love all the songs, that is the cornerstone identifier.
And it's a big one for the duets, isn't it? They're always using different people to sing duet with Elvis on it.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I would do that. And I also want to finish with saying thank you for doing this on Saturday. I know a lot of people are, doing things, being with family. Their celebrations are start. So the fact that you're doing this today, this just make Christmas a little more special.
Thank you very, very much, Brent. And I want to finish by saying you have a very, very Merry Christmas to you and your loved ones. He's gone. I don't believe it. Merry Christmas, Brent, anyway, if you can still hear me.
Oh, I did. You cut out there for a second,
Okay.
but that was you getting revenge for my silence. I get it now. We're even.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
All right, see you
Take
later.
care, pal. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I'd upset him there by wishing him a Merry Christmas. Okay. Right. So we move on. And we say hello, Dylan.
Hello.
Hello there. You're not pranking me like Brent did.
No.
You giving me the silent treatment.
Yeah.
How are you today, young man?
I'm good. Well, first of all, I
Yes.
want to say I think you have the premier Elvis channel out there.
Thank
First of
you.
all,
Thank you very much.
because the reason is you've got a community. You've created a community that a lot of people vow for these days, and you are responsible for a lot of that. So, on behalf of everyone, I just want to say thank you. First of all.
That's very, very kind. Thank you. I don't know what to say. I often say that it's you, the community, that makes this channel, and I'm going to stand by that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the kingdom is only as good as its ruler, as Brent once said.
Goodness me. Right. This album, I'm intrigued to know what you're going to pick out of. I mean, you can pick another song that's not on the poll, you know.
Yeah. Well, I agree with everything that Brent just said.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Santa Claus is Back in Town.
Right.
Is the best way to open an album.
Mm-hmm.
It sets the tone, as Brent said.
Yeah. It's lovely. It's lovely. It's lovely the way it opens. The Jordanaires just repeating the word Christmas, Christmas, and the plinking of the piano, and then the drums come in, and then Elvis just lets loose.
Yeah, and what's very interesting, and again, I'm going to get geeky on everybody, so if you want to tune out, please do. It's very interesting how DJ doesn't swing the beat. It sounds swung, but it's straight, and that's very hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to give an impression of something.
Yeah.
But DJ and Ronnie are the two greatest swingers ever.
Yeah, and Elvis had both of them as drummers.
Yeah, but like if you hear it, Elvis is swinging right along with DJ too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they're both like in tandem, I think is the phrase. I think with each other.
As I said to Brent earlier on, you know, the fact that they had to, Lieber and Stoller had to write it under pressure in a few hours, or maybe even an hour or so, makes it even more remarkable.
I mean, it just shows how good of a songwriter.
Yeah.
The pair was. And
let's not forget the great piano solo by Dudley Brooks as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that piano and that, like, the drummers and the piano and Elvis's vocal is what really makes that song.
Yeah, it could really be an underrated Elvis song, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've also got a vow for White Christmas as well. Just because it's very different to what Bing Crosby did.
Very, very different.
It's more, well, I don't want to say it's more upbeat, because Bing's was kind of upbeat, but like the whole arrangement of it was upbeat. So yeah, I'm gonna vouch for Santa Claus is Back in Town.
Right. Okay. Right, young man, you're all ready for Christmas and everything, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting excited like I am.
Yeah.
All the Elvis stuff you're gonna get.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm a big kid, really.
Yeah, I am as well. Right. Merry Christmas, mate, and I'll speak to you in the new year.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah, same to you. Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye. Right, that was young Dylan. And we move on and we say, if you can hear me, Priscilla, I will take you off mute. Hello, Priscilla.
I sure can, Steve.
Hey, now Priscilla was over in the Arches in London last week at the Elvis exhibition, direct from Graceland, weren't you?
I most certainly was.
Christmas came early for you.
Brilliant.
Christmas came early for you, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, from the minute we walked inside the door, it was spot on.
Yeah.
The staff were lovely. Now, obviously, we were there. It was the only wet day we had while we were in London, and it was really wet the same morning. But I didn't know how long it was going to take us to get there, so I wanted to be there on time. And our entry time was 10 a.m.
Right.
I think we were there at 5 to 9. And it was pouring rain because obviously I thought it would be heavier in rush hour traffic. But anyway, so I was eager.
You could probably go inside and sit in there was like a little cafeteria area in there, wasn't there?
The doors didn't open till 10, Steve.
Oh, right.
So we went and sat in would you believe, in one of the access alleys into the tube station. But anyway, it was fine. We had a coffee, we sat and chatted.
Yeah.
Just walking in, seeing the gold phone, and the first little exhibit was the gold phone from his desk.
That's right.
The razor, the comb, the bottle of Bruce.
Yes.
It was brilliant.
Did you listen to the audio, the headphone guide?
I did, yeah.
Did you find that you couldn't hear it clearly sometimes because of the music?
What you had actually said did resonate with me. That even at full volume, the background music or the music from the other sections of the exhibit did invade it. And I actually thought of you so many times during it because I went, I'm going to have to wait now till that stops and do this again.
Yeah.
Do you know, to try and now that if that's the only gripe we have with the day, I did spot a little error in one of the exhibits, though.
Oh,
Steve.
Go on! I'm all ears.
So in the exhibit where in relation to his army time and his little trip to Paris on one of his 13-day leaves, they have a picture of a check where he paid the hotel.
Yeah.
But they have a little information card above it saying, this is a check that Elvis wrote for $1,000 for a hotel stay in. But the check was for $1,900.
Oh, right. Well spotted. Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's a life. That's a previous.
I mean, some of the documents and things like that they were copies. They weren't originals because they were just too pristine.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But that doesn't mean I wouldn't enjoy looking at them all day long, though.
Oh yeah. You get the idea of the document anyway. Even if it's not genuine, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Providing the stuff like the cars and the clothes and the jumpsuits and all those sort of things were genuine. That's the main thing. And
I do think they were, Steve.
Oh yeah.
I actually do think they were.
Yeah.
Do you know what I found very interesting? Seeing the saddle and his riding chaps.
Oh yeah.
I don't recall seeing them when I was in Graceland at all. I don't recall missing them, or and I wanted to take so much time with everything because I do feel that I missed so much. You just get caught up in the moment. Anyway, I thought it was very well put together. I thought that the staff there were all quite young staff members that we had.
Yeah, they were.
And they were very enthusiastic. And very willing and moving around and chatting. And I had joked when I came in because I was trying to bring up the ticket on my phone, and the young lady that I was dealing with said, if you want to give me your name. So I gave her my surname, and she said, your first name. And then I said it, and she went, ha!
Exactly, yeah. I think we I don't know about yourself, but we spent at least 2.5 hours in there.
Steve, I think we were 3.5.
Yeah, it's easily done because there's so much to see.
Yeah. And now remember, I had Kevin and Sophie with me. Okay. So I know they say they're not Elvis fans, but they have no choice. And to some degree, like I said to Kevin, what would you give this? He said 9 out of 10, and I said why? And why would you take the point off? He said, because it was raining and we had to stand outside.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I told you after I went in November that my wife, I mean, she's not a big Elvis fan, but she said she thought it was really, really good and really, really well done. So, that's coming from somebody who isn't really a big Elvis fan.
And you know what I loved? if any of the UK fans can get there, I'd say do it, lads. It's really it's hard to quantify or express how the feelings that come along with looking at these things, because we've spent so long, having never really lived in his entertaining time, wanting to know more, or to see more, or to be a part of that.
Yeah.
To experience that. And I think this has come very close to it. But I also loved the freeness of the exhibit.
Yeah, you could go forwards, backwards, sideways. If you wanted to go back and see something, you could. There was no sort of one way.
Exactly.
Yeah, it wasn't like IKEA. IKEA, you go in and you have to go all the way around one way, and you can't go back.
Yeah, it wasn't like that constant cattle shuttle. Do you know?
Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad you. Go on. Yeah.
The other thing I thought was quite is you had mentioned as well. So we had pretty much, there was maybe 10 or 12 of us in there at the start.
Yeah.
And by the time I was leaving, there was significantly more. But I did speak to one of those staff members, and she mentioned to me that their close date was to be the 25th, but that she believed, and then she looked at me and she went, it will, there's no doubt it's going to be extended.
Yeah.
That the first couple of months, it was chock-a-block day in, day out. She said it had quietened a bit now in recent weeks.
Probably because of Christmas.
Just because, I suppose, Christmas and people are saving their pennies for someday or whatever the case might be. But so
when is it
around the birthday?
When is it supposed to finish?
Originally, the finish date was the 25th of February.
Okay, and they think it's going to go a little bit further than that, yeah?
She said, I think they're going to extend it. And then she looked at me and she went, they are going to extend it.
Yeah, fair enough.
And they're fully booked for early January around the birthday. Right.
So, so if anybody's listening to this now and they're humming and hawing, book it up before it does.
Get in there, lads. Get in there.
Did you get plenty of stuff from the gift shop, I hope?
Well, I was a bit disappointed with the gift shop. Now,
it was quite small. Yeah.
That was none. They had a couple of T-shirts, and I wasn't impressed now, really. They said they had scarves, but they didn't, because they'd already sold out or whatever the case might be. Now, I picked up a few keychains and a couple of magnets. Sophie bought a T-shirt.
Yeah.
There was nothing like I would have bought like something like a mug that I could have brought home or something I could have had. There was very little of that.
Yeah.
Now, I suppose I had a notion of what I wanted to buy, but then the other thing I will say is then it didn't seem to me that they were kind of they weren't money grabbing either.
No, they weren't pushing the gifts as far as I could.
Yeah, and they were missing a trick with what they had on show. That's what I'd say.
I bought a pair of TCB socks. Actually, would you believe it? I'm actually wearing them today. TCB
socks.
Up
leg, let me see them, Steve.
I can't lift my leg that high. when they're washed, I'll dangle them in front of the camera next week. Okay.
Kevin picked the same socks up.
Oh, did he? Oh, yeah, great.
But he didn't buy them because they don't come in his size. He'll be out through them in a short while.
Hey, we better discuss the topic anyway, which is the best song on the 1957 Christmas album. Yeah.
So, I think I'll never, ever come across as eloquently as Brent or as knowledgeable as Dylan, but
okay.
I love Santa Claus Back in Town. I just love it.
Yeah, I think that one could win.
I absolutely do. Because for the same reasons that everybody else said, Blue Christmas is synonymous with Elvis. It's synonymous with Christmas and all the rest. But I think there's something behind it. There's a roughness without being. That's not the word. No, there's
It's pure Elvis.
That's exactly it. Do you know what it is? It's Elvis personified.
Yeah.
And to consider that it was written, and someone said, "Here, we need something to stick in here.
Yeah.
Do something," and it became. That now partly because it was Elvis. Elvis could have sang the phone book, and it would have been tremendous.
Yeah.
But it was. I always loved that. No, that isn't to say that I wouldn't be upset about hearing any other of them songs, Steve, because once again you're asking us impossible questions, and we indulge you on a weekly basis. But no, it has to be. I love all of them, as you know, and But definitely, I think there's an Elvisness about it.
Yes, it personifies what he was in
And I
1957,
think
doesn't it?
he was enjoying it.
Yeah, he was. Oh yeah. He was definitely enjoying singing "Hang Up Your Pretty Stockings, Turn Off the Light." Santa Claus is coming down your chimney tonight. There was definitely sort of double entendres there, wasn't there? I believe.
There most certainly was.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's a lot of us there hoping that it was us he was talking to.
Right, young lady. Have a lovely Christmas, and I'll speak to you in the new year. I'm glad you enjoyed
Many happy returns to you, Steve, and to your family, your
Thanks.
long-suffering wife and children. No, I'm joking. We're very grateful, and I must thank you for our early Christmas present.
All right.
By allowing us and by taking time out of your Christmas
Not
break
at all.
to do
Not
this.
at all. Not at all.
So we're grateful.
I wouldn't miss it.
Modest now, people.
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks.
You're
all
very
right.
good.
Cheers, Priscilla. Bye bye.
Ciao, babes.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, right now that was Priscilla. And we move on and we say hello, Vincenzo. Unfortunately, Vincenzo has gone by the looks of it. So I will say yes. I will say hello, Jonathan.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, Jonathan. Good to speak to you.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. So, what do you think about this, the best-selling Christmas album of all time?
It's one of my favorite Christmas albums, of course.
Of course. Well, 20 million people can't be wrong.
Right.
Over 20 million people.
And they keep re-releasing it.
They do.
And I just bought a Walmart exclusive re-release of this album, and I think it's blue vinyl, some type of way.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so I love Elvis play it, and every Christmas or here now and then throughout the year I play it just to listen to it.
It's amazing how Elvis is almost associated with Christmas and Christmas songs, isn't it? And yet, he was supposed to be the rock and roll artist, and yet, he's still associated with these Christmas songs like, White Christmas, I'll Be Home for Christmas. Well, not so much White Christmas, because we know that the treatment that he gave it, Irving Berlin didn't like. I like it. I
like it too. It's one of my top favorite Christmas songs.
Yeah.
I get it why he didn't like it, but
especially when he really, really goes mad near the end there and really jazzes it up. Hi-ya,
I love that. I love that part. I really do.
Yeah.
When he starts, I love that part.
Yeah, I do as well. And of course, it wasn't all Christmas songs on that album. There was sort of ones that he'd recorded earlier on in the year to fill it out. There'll be peace in the valley, I believe, take my hand, precious Lord, and it is no secret what we can do. Yeah, the Gospels. But again, they fit in with the Christmas theme, obviously.
They do.
With it being that time of year.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, those are great gospel songs, and I like to listen here and then.
Now,
but just like,
yeah.
Yes, sir?
Yeah. I was going to say, so would you be picking Santa Claus is Back in Town then?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I think it's going to win. I thought Blue Christmas might win, but I'm going to change my mind. I think it could be Santa Claus is Back in Town could win.
I mean, Blue Christmas, like everybody says, Blue Christmas is, everybody knows that, it's Elvis's, I think it's like the number one selling single, and now is the number one most played on Spotify and all that, music thing. But Santa Claus is Back in Town, it's just something about that song. I just love it. Very bluesy, very kind of jazzy as well. The piano intros and the and then Elvis,
as I said earlier on as well, the piano solo by Dudley. I mean, he probably made that up on the spot, but great.
And we probably did. He probably improvised, but it's it sounded great. It sounds great. It's amazing, and
Well, that's
And,
what
you know,
that's what
just
I
Elvis.
find. I find sometimes with modern recordings now they're too clinical because you know that they've sort of spent sort of weeks and weeks and weeks fine tuning them and everything, and there's no spontaneity. But there's definitely spontaneity with Dudley's solo. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, and you don't need no autotune or anything. You know,
Mm.
it didn't exist back in the day, but still, like, you don't need no autotune. You know, Elvis's voice was great too.
Yeah, yeah.
Just it's a shame that Elvis didn't sing it fully at the '68 comeback special. We just
Yeah.
got a little glimpse of it.
Now the Blue Christmas. Remember we were saying earlier on about how he asked Millie to do a funny sort of backing vocal on it, so they wouldn't release it. I actually like that backing that she's done. I think it's really quirky. I love it.
Yes, yeah, I like it too. It really fits the song, the mood. I know I know Elvis said he didn't want to sing that song because I think at the time it was a silly song
Yeah.
or something. But I think he did tell Millie just sing whatever, so it won't be part of the album. But to his surprise, they liked it.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny like that, isn't it? Some people say, oh, they won't like that, and yet it becomes a really, really, really big success. I remember he did Baby Let's Play House, and he did a bit of a yelp at the end of it and a laugh and everything like that, thinking that Sam Phillips wouldn't release it. And of course, Sam released Baby Let's Play House, and yeah, it was brilliant.
And same with Mystery Train. At the end, there's a little laugh, a little giggle.
Yeah.
And Sam, I guess, liked it too and released it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you're gonna go for Santa Claus is Back in Town, yeah?
Yeah, Santa Claus is Back in Town, 100% for sure.
Great, Jonathan. Have a great holiday, and I'd like to say Merry Christmas to you.
Oh, thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you too, also, Steve.
All the best. Bye bye now.
Thank you too. Bye.
Bye. Some great callers tonight. Really, really good, and we will be giving you the result of that poll later on. You can still call me if you wish. You can put yourself in the Discord queue and I will pick you up, and if I see your name in the queue. But for now, I will just remove myself out of there, and we can go on and we can do Elvis history. This day in Elvis history, what Elvis was doing right before Christmas. This is a good one, actually. And I'll tell you the reason why is because 1954, which was his first year in the business, as he used to call it, this racket, he used to say as well. He used to call it a racket. Elvis, Scotty and Bill were stopped for speeding on their way home from Shreveport. Elvis recalled in an interview, I thought, here goes my Christmas money for a traffic ticket, but the officer let us go with a warning. After the officer left, the three of us got out of the car and counted our money by the car headlights. The money was mostly in dollar bills. Man, that was the most money I had ever had in my pocket at one time. I blew the whole bundle the next day for Christmas presents. That must have been some year for Elvis, 1954. That July he'd been into the Sun studio and he'd done That's All Right, and his career had started to sort of take off a little bit, but it was the big years were still ahead of him. He worked really, really hard in 1955. They were on the road almost constantly in 1955, and when they weren't on the road, they were in Sun recording. And then, of course, the huge year of 1956, his breakout year. In reality and truth, that 56 was the monumental year, wasn't it? So 1956, Christmas at Audubon Drive, and there is the picture. And that young lady in the middle is Dottie Harmony, okay, the Las Vegas showgirl. A lot of people label this photograph as Anita, but he hadn't actually met Anita by 1956, Christmas 1956, and there's another photograph there. Audubon Drive. 1957, Christmas at Graceland, and there's I can't think of his surname. Is it Cliff Greaves? Is it help me out here, folks. Cliff Greaves. Yeah, I think it is Cliff Greaves. I just couldn't think of his surname there for a second. Anyway, that's who it is. Cliff Greaves. A friend of Elvis at the time. That's very strange how I couldn't think of his surname. Right, okay, here we go. And then we go 1958. We have Christmas at the Hotel Grunwald in Bad Nauheim, Bad Nauheim in Germany. And there it is in recent times. And you've also got like that little monument in front of it as well. Gleaves. Thanks, Jack. I was saying Greaves for some reason. I don't know why. Cliff Gleaves. Thank you very, very much. Then we've got 1959. We've got Gotherstrath 14 in again Bad Nauheim in Germany. And there it is. And there's a shot with Elvis in front of it. I think that's the day he's leaving. He seems to be holding a bag. So there it is in more modern times. And then March 1960. There. Okay. Then we've got 1960. We've got Elvis, Hope Lange, and Parker as Santa. Then we've just got another shot taken the same day of just Elvis and Parker as Santa again. That was on this day in 1960. 1961, Kid Galahad production, although it was actually suspended for the Christmas period. 1962, Priscilla's visit to Graceland. There's a shot of Priscilla. Then we've got 1971. We've got Elvis rented the movie theater and watched Shampoo and Soul Soldier. And there's a poster for Shampoo, of course, with Warren Beatty, Julie Christie, and Goldie Hawn. 1973. Oh, by the way, stand by for a really, really cool picture alert. Okay, this is a really, really cool picture. There you go. Look at that. There's how cool does he look in that two-tone full-length coat? That's Dick Grobe, Sonny West, and Elvis with fans outside the Memphian Theatre on this day in 1973. So that was this day in Elvis history. And we move on and we say, well, we'll do Photoshop next, actually. That's what we'll do. Before we do a song I wish Elvis had recorded. And it's this one. And continuing the Christmas theme, we've got Elvis in a Santa hat. Of course, this is supplied by Kirsty, exposing Elvis Photoshops. Thanks, Kirsty. And it's this one. And this is the actual photograph that it's taken from. So somebody's plonked a Santa hat on Elvis. Now, I know it's quite harmless, but it's still a Photoshop. So I just thought you'll probably see that one doing the rounds a lot over the next couple of days. And it is, unfortunately, fake. Right. Now, a song I wish Elvis had recorded. Yes, again, we're keeping up the Christmas theme. It's suggested by me. Now, I'm not even sure whether our US viewers would even be familiar with this song, as it only reached 95 on the Billboard chart. The English viewers and Irish viewers will be quite familiar with this. It's I Believe in Father Christmas is a song by English musician Greg Lake with lyrics by Peter Sinfield. Although it is often characterized as a Christmas song, this was not Lake's intention. He said he wrote the song in protest at the commercialization of Christmas. Sinfield, however, said that the words are about a loss of innocence and childhood belief. Released in 1975, the song reached number 2 on the UK singles chart, number 17 on the Irish singles chart, and number 98 in Australia. And as I said earlier, 95 in the US. The instrumental riff between verses comes from Troika portion of Sergei Prokofiev's Lieutenant Kij suite. That do. I better not hum it too much. I may get a copyright strike. It was kept from the number 1 spot by Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. Sadly, Greg Lake died at the beginning of the Christmas period on December the 7th, 2016, at the age of 69. And that's the one that I think I would have been curious to see how Elvis would have tackled it. And as I say, it's a song I wish he would have recorded so as I could find out what sort of a job he'd made of it. I'll put the link below anyway for you, and you can let me know. And there is the cover of the single, Greg Lake, I Believe in Father Christmas. Don't forget, you can still vote on the poll, and it's which is the best song on Elvis's 1957 Christmas album: White Christmas, I'll Be Home for Christmas, Blue Christmas, or Santa Claus is Back in Town. And most of the callers said Santa Claus is back in town, so I'll be interested when I announce in a moment what the result is of the poll. Right. Don't forget, you can give me your own ideas and so forth. You can send them to me on Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel. Underrated songs, Photoshop, smoking hot photos. I don't believe it. As soon as I said that, they started again. Songs you wish Elvis had sung or recorded. Songs that Elvis recorded but never sung live. You can put that in there as well if you like. You can also send in your funny caption photos. You can suggest a topic for discussion as well if you wish. Help me out, because sometimes it's not easy for me to think of a topic. I'd love for you as well. Bottom right hand corner, subscribe. You can click the subscribe button and click the bell and turn it black for all notifications. And I would be, if you haven't already, I'm sure most of you have. Now, caption this photo. This was the photo I posted during the week, a real cutie one from Follow That Dream, and I asked you to send in your funny captions and so forth, and the ones that got the most thumbs up, or the one that got the most thumbs up, is the winner, and that person will be mentioned in a second. But here's some that people sent in. Elvis, why does your lip do that funny thing? Let me fix it for you. Come on, Elvis, let's play Pat a Cake. Let's play I Spy with My Little Eye. Okay, I'm going to show you one more time how to do the duck face. I like that one. But the winner with 26 likes, and I'm going to give you a drum roll. Is this one, and it's young Dylan. Dylan, you got it again. A lot of people like your funny captions. Well done. 26 likes to Dylan, and it was okay. I'll sing Old MacDonald just for you. So well done. We'll give him a round. A round of applause for Dylan. Well done, Dylan. That was Caption This Photo, and I'll do another one sort of Monday, Tuesday of next week for next Saturday's show. Let me just remind you again that I'm going to do next week's show again this day week, okay? Because next Sunday is New Year's Eve, and again, people will be very, very busy, and it'll be hard for you to sit down and watch a live show, but you might find time on the 30th. Yes, underrated Elvis song. There's still time for you to vote on that poll, which is the best song on Elvis's 1957 Christmas album. And there is the 4 options. Underrated Elvis song, suggested by April. April, thanks very much for sending this in. Written by Mac Davis and Billy Strange and published by Gladys Music Inc. It was released as a 7-inch single in 1969, with The Fair's Moving On as the B-side, but not featured on any studio album. As well as in the US, the single was also released in the UK, Canada, Germany, Australia, New Zealand, and India. The song was from the soundtrack of the MGM film The Trouble with Girls and was later included on the budget RCA Camden album Almost in Love. I'm pretty sure that some of you have actually already guessed what this is. Elvis recorded the track at United Recorders in Hollywood on October the 23rd, 1968. I wonder, has anybody guessed yet? Let's have a look. I can maybe... No, I can't see the chat at the moment. Is covered by the poll. But I'm going to tell you that although The Trouble with Girls is set in the 1920s, several lyrics within the song are anachronistic with the era, such as a reference to armchair quarterbacks. Now, has anybody guessed yet? A term not coined until the advent of television sports broadcasting decades later. If you haven't guessed by now, the song is... Let's see if anybody has guessed. It is Clean Up Your Own Backyard. Yeah, that April has suggested that one is a underrated song. It reached 35 on the Billboard Hot 100 and 21 on the UK singles chart. The single reached 18 on the Record World chart and number 29 on the Australian Go Set chart. The RIAA certified the single gold in March 1992. And of course, I will put a link for new fans below, just in case there's any new fans watching this and they are not familiar with Clean Up Your Own Backyard. Now, it's that there. Elvis sings Clean Up Your Own Backyard from the MGM motion picture The Trouble with Girls and How to Get Into It. And I spoke to his co-star, Marlon Mason, on this show, and it's available on my YouTube channel, this YouTube channel, and it's under the playlist, which is people from interviews with people from the Elvis world, I think is the title or something like that. And she's a lovely, lovely person, is Marlon. She really is. I've got to do Smoking Hot, but before I do Smoking Hot, I wanted to do the poll, and I want to tell you obviously about next week. So let's go in and close that poll off. And I'm interested to see what won. Well, there's a shock. It wasn't what I thought. The result of the poll is, which is the best song on Elvis's 1957 Christmas album, 42% say Blue Christmas, Santa Claus is Back in Town, 33%, I'll Be Home for Christmas, 16%, and White Christmas, only 7%. I thought it would have been the other way around, actually, when the callers were telling me that it was Santa Claus is Back in Town. I thought that one would win, but it came second. Thank you very much to everybody that voted on the poll. Thanks very, very much. And we've got to do... Whoa, girls. I didn't even say it yet. I didn't even show it. Here it is. Smoking Hot from Blue Hawaii. What does everybody think of that? Now, I know what everybody thinks of it. They think this. There you go. That's your last Smoking Hot before Christmas. The next one will... Oh, they're still going. Yeah, the next one will be on Saturday the 30th. I'll come up with another Smoking Hot photograph. So that just leaves me to say thank you very, very, very much for joining me throughout the year. If you watched live tonight, I really, really do appreciate it, because obviously at the time of year it is, and only 24 hours now to go. Yeah. Thanks very, very much for taking the time out to watch the show. And it really, I couldn't do this without you. It's your channel. I know people said that it's you know, I make it, but it really is you that makes it. The listeners and the viewers and people that ring in and send ideas in, and the callers to the show. So yes. So it leaves me with nothing else to say, but please look after yourselves over the Christmas period. Have a great, peaceful, happy Christmas, and I'll hopefully see you next Saturday when I'll be wishing you all a happy new year. Take care of yourselves, and Al, do it one more time.
Elvis has left the building. Thank you and good night.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Good night.